In the previous video, Jeanette McDaniel presented ways to prepare for parent conferences and make them a positive experience, both for families and teachers. In this video, we will see 3 demonstrations of parent-teacher conferences. The first 2 are examples of regularly scheduled conferences for 2 different age groups. The third is an example of a problem-solving conference. In every conference with a family member, there are certain guidelines you can follow that will help you build a strong family-school alliance. Let's look at the guidelines for a regularly scheduled conference. To begin, it is important to display a caring attitude. Parents want to know that you understand and appreciate their child, and that their child is recognized as a unique person in your classroom. Then begin on a positive note by talking about the student's academic strengths. Share recent successes and present examples of the child's good work. Next is the time to talk about academic weaknesses. Always present negative information clearly and succinctly. Don't dwell on shortcomings, but don't gloss over them either. Be objective and precise. Ask for parents' help in finding a solution to the problems you have identified. If the parent is critical of your efforts, don't be defensive. Simply acknowledge the parent's position and express your desire to do your best to help the child succeed.
What you're doing, it must not be doing any good, because last year she had a teacher that she got A's in English in. And all of a sudden this year she's got you and she's not doing very well at all.
Okay, well, let's put last year aside just a little bit because different year, a lot of changes can happen in a year. And just focus right now on this year and what we can do to help her.
I don't know, maybe I should just pull her out of this school and send her to another school. I mean, I'm fed up with this school right now.
Okay, and I understand.
If the parent persists in a critical attack, set a time and place for a meeting to deal specially with the problem. After discussing the academic performance, move on to the student's social development. Take this time to describe the student's social strengths and how he or she gets along with fellow students. Then, if appropriate, talk about areas that need improvement. If the child does not have any social weaknesses, simply skip this portion of the conference. If there are additional areas or topics which you wish to bring up with the parent, now is the time to present them before beginning your summary of the conference. Then, start to summarize what you covered in the conference. Restate any action you would like the parent to take, and summarize what you have agreed to do. Ask the parent one last time if they have any comments or would like to cover anything else. Lastly, be sure to end the conference on a positive note by expressing your confidence that working together, you and the family member will be able to ensure the success of the child. Thank the parent for coming, and if necessary, set time for additional contact. Now, let's look in on an example of a regularly scheduled conference between a teacher and a parent of a middle school student.
Dan, thank you for coming in today to talk about Shanley. This is just our standard parent-teacher conference. Shanley's been doing really great this fall so far. I've seen some good progress in her reading and writing. One of the things we've been working on is a step up to writing. Has she explained that to you at all at home?
Oh, a little bit.
A little bit? Okay. It's a process we're using. It's kind of got a visual process as well as developing the vocabulary. And the visuals, we have red, greens, and yellows. Reds being to stop and go back and look at your prompt for your writing. Your yellows being your connecting ideas to your main prompt. So that's one of the new things she's learning this semester. She's done great with building some new friendships. This is a new classroom that she came into this year, so I'm very happy to have her. And she seems to really have bonded well with Caitlin, who's another student in our class.
She seems to enjoy school real well.
Great. Are there some things that she really seems to be enjoying in the classroom?
Mostly the reading and the writing, I think.
There is a couple areas we need to work on strengthening, one being math. She seems to be having a little bit of a difficulty with long division. Not unusual for for fall, just starting back in and getting refreshed. So I expect to see that improve. We are working on that as a whole class right now, and she seems to have her multiplication facts and her division facts down, which will really help her with the process of getting down the long division.
She loves math,
Oh, good.
the challenge of it.
That's wonderful. So we'll continue to work on those skills in the classroom. Do you have any concerns or questions for me?
Yes, I guess one would be with her homework. If she's struggling with a problem or two, how deep do I get into helping her or not? I just found in some of it, it seems different process for getting the same answer from when I went to school, so.
Things have changed a little bit since both you and I went to school. I'll have to agree on that.
I don't want to steer her the wrong direction.
No, that's why feel free. If you're not quite sure of the process, or we're using a different procedure than what you were taught, back in our old school days, that you can send a note to me to school in the morning, and I will sit down with Shanley and be more than happy to run through the procedures with her
Okay.
again. And you can come in after school or before school in the morning, and I can show it to you also if you want to be able to do that extra help at home. But helping at home is a great thing, and we always encourage that.
Okay, great.
Okay. Now, with the math work and the math homework, it's not going to be unusual for Shanley to have a few questions. This is something we're working on for the first time with the long division. We've taken a step up from just being a double digit divided by a single digit. Now we're doing double digit into triple digit, or single digit into quadruple digit. So it's not going to be uncommon for her to have questions, or even for you to have questions, because it is a new procedure that we're using. So don't be surprised if she comes home and have questions. And if you have questions, or concerns about the work that you see coming home, or you see it becoming too much of a struggle, feel free to contact me immediately, and we'll sit down together and work out the problems. And if Shanley needs some extra help after school, I'm here till 4:30. I'm more than happy to have her stay after for a period of time and get that extra help that she needs. There are also some other students in the class that I can pair her with, that might be able to explain the work in a different way than I can, that might help her get the process down a little bit better. But it is something, we're kind of in the middle of it, so it's not going to be abnormal to have questions, and it's something we'll continue with throughout the next couple weeks. So I don't foresee in the long run it being a problem for her. Just right now it's a tad bit of a struggle, which is not uncommon.
I was just wondering if this is something she has talked about in class and had time to go over or be familiar with, or if it's something she just brought home
No,
that
this is-
afternoon and got handed to her on the way out the door or something and didn't really know what was going on.
No, this is something we've just we've started working on. We're kind of getting to the middle of it. Like I said, we started with the basics, and now we're adding a couple more steps in each time. So each time we go, it gets a little bit more difficult, and the questions become a little bit more frequent and a little more often. And we're going to continue to work on the process together. We get together in a whole group. We go over what it is that we're going to work on for the day. We do some explanations up on the board. I'll put some problems up, have the students work through problems. I'll ask them if they have any questions. If they don't have any questions, then I let them go back to their seats where they can have independent practice. And while they're working, I make sure I circulate around and offer my assistance at all times so that I can help with those problems. And I'll continue to do that. One of the things I sat down with Shanley before this conference, and she and I had kind of our own little mini conference. I did that with each of the students, kind of to help set a goal for where they would, for one area they were having difficulty in, to help them improve in that area. And Shanley picked the goal of being able to do her long division with getting 95% accuracy, which in our school would be considered an A, and she takes great pride in that. So this was a goal that she has set up for herself,
Great.
and she wants to get 95%, which is, that's a pretty good goal for a child going into 6th grade. So do you have any goals that you would like to see her working on that maybe I can bring back to her tomorrow after we have this conference, because I told her I was going to talk with each parent and let them know the goals, and then maybe see if there's another goal that the parent thought might need to be added in there, and see how they felt about that.
Oh, unless it'd be 100%.
We can always achieve
Then
our
she'd
strive
do
towards
a better
100%.
job than I did someday.
I'll let her know that she would like her to go for the 100%. I'm sure she would be very happy to try for that. So, is there anything else that I can help you with? I just wanted to let you know that that was something that I had met with each of the students before coming into these conferences so that I could share their personal goals with their parents as far as their academic work is concerned. Okay. As far as her social goals, she's a very happy child. She is very caring and kind towards her classmates and seems to get along very well with everybody. She's always willing to help somebody, especially if she sees them struggling, or willing to help me if she sees that I need some extra help somewhere, maybe handing out papers or collecting things, or taking care of a class pet. So she's demonstrating those character traits that we like to model here at GTA: the caring, the kindness, respect, responsibility. I mean, she's already taking responsibility for her own learning by setting her own personal goals and coming up with a plan on how she's going to achieve those goals. So,
Glad to hear that.
And I'm sure she's got great role models at home from what I've seen. So,
Thank you
for coming in.
In some cases, the parent may take a more active role in determining the direction of the conference. In these conferences, being prepared is even more important, as you have to be ready to answer any questions the parent may bring up. Let's watch how this kindergarten teacher deals with a parent who is also very prepared for the conference.
Mrs. Barnes, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you, Kylie. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, thank
You've got
you.
a great classroom. I see you've got some new pictures up on the wall.
Yes, the kids have been working very hard at them. Thank you very much.
They just do an awesome job. It's really great.
It's great to see the transition from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
Yes, it is.
It's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of them have made a big change in some of the areas of their fine motor skills. And
Yeah. Well, I guess I want to start off today by asking you, do you have any questions for me about Joshua's progress and the learning that is going on in our classroom?
Just a couple of questions, mostly about his Spanish skills and then some of his reading skills. In Spanish, we were looking for ways to improve on his vocabulary at home. So if we had a word list of what he's working on in the classroom, it would help us at home to build on it.
Sure.
And then again during the summer when he's not going to be in school, so he doesn't forget.
Sure. What I can do for you on that is ask Senior Cole to maybe give me a list. And then another thing that he did was he used pictures with the
Okay.
words. And I tell you what, those kids picked it up very fast.
Oh, okay.
So maybe like if you had if you put refrigerator in Spanish on the refrigerator, he actually had the object and then the picture and the word.
Okay.
And I can ask him to get you a list and I can give that to you.
All right, that would be good.
Okay.
And then the other question I had was about Joshua's reading. He seems to be blazing through all of his Dick and Jane books, and we're running out of ideas for other extra reading material we could be giving him.
He has done a wonderful job at reading, and I like the idea that he helps the other kids who may be struggling with some of the sight words that we are learning right now, and I think he's a wonderful role model. One of the things that you could do is you could purchase go to Borders and purchase the little chapter books. I know they have those for easy readers.
Okay.
And you could get him in doing that, and even, building on those sight words, seeing if he is able to recognize them in different genre. For example, maybe a magazine or a newspaper or an encyclopedia. Here's Joshua's journal that we've been working on for the past month.
Okay.
And I just want to show you the progress that he has made since the beginning of the year. His pictures express so much detail, and he's very creative. He has a very wonderful imagination, and he takes his time, and he's very proud of his work, and
Okay.
it definitely shows in his work.
And he definitely enjoys working on it. He talks about the stuff he's writing in his book at school, and so I've been waiting to look at it.
Good. I'll just show you a couple more pieces. And then this one, I was like, Joshua, what happened here? And he was trying to decide whether he wanted to be at home or he wanted to be outside. He was
Okay.
like, he had so many thoughts running through his mind that he just couldn't decide. So, but other than that, he's doing a remarkable job. He knows in the picture, his pictures they're always centered. correctly, like the sky and the sun and, the ground, and
Okay.
so.
So
he's doing-
he's got those proportions correct.
Yes. Yep. Another thing that Joshua and you could work on at home is being able to follow a 4-step directions. For
Okay.
example, asking him to, okay, Joshua, go over to the table, grab my water, hop back to where you're at and sit down, and seeing if
Okay.
he's able to remember all 4 of those steps.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about in math? Does he need any work over there at all, or?
He's doing very good at simple addition and subtraction problems.
Okay.
He's able to rote count to 100,
Okay.
and he points to objects up to 35. I had to stop him after that. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
Joshua, he's doing really well at that.
Okay.
One thing that we in the curriculum is standard configurations for like on the dice. When you have a dice, being able to automatically say, oh, that's 6. Okay,
Okay.
oh, that's 5. They should know it right off
All right.
what each number, what those dots are. But
Okay.
for whole to part, he did wonderful on the Bohm test. He got all of those concepts right.
Oh, okay.
Part to whole, left to right, middle, end, third, ordinal positions. He did really good at that.
Oh, great. All right. Will they start teaching him how to tell time in first grade, or is that further on down the road?
In first grade, they introduce
Okay.
time.
So we could be working with that on him.
Sure. Being able to draw the numbers on the clock, and
Okay.
then it's so hard. We introduced it this past year, and it's a hard concept because if they don't know how to count by 5s, it really throws them off.
Okay.
So even working on counting by 5s with him would be good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Do you have any other ideas for me at all, or any other concerns about Joshua's behavior that we can work with him at home on?
Just getting him more outgoing and outspoken, and giving him some more energy and confidence in his ability to do, because he has it. It's just a matter of letting him
Okay.
express it.
All right.
But other than that, he's a joy.
Thank you.
We just all love him,
Oh,
and he's
thanks.
doing
And
wonderful.
He just enjoys being in kindergarten, and he thinks it's a lot of fun and looks forward to coming to school.
Great. Well, I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy
Oh,
schedule.
thank you for taking the time
Yeah.
to talk to me about Joshua and his progress. And
Sure.
Thanks a lot. Nice seeing you.
Another type of conference you may have to schedule is one to address a specific academic or behavioral problem. Meetings that are scheduled to be problem-solving conferences should also be well organized, with a plan on how to discuss the problem at hand. Here are the guidelines. First, it is important to begin the conference by demonstrating your concern for the student and your belief that the current problem could present a significant roadblock to the child's success. Next, describe the problem. Remain calm and objective. Present any documentation you have at this point. Then give an update on the situation and explain what has happened since your last communication. Next, describe what you have done so far in an attempt to solve the problem. Be specific about your conversations with the child and any actions you may have taken. When you have finished, ask the parents for their input. Ask what, if anything, they have done at home to help solve the problem. Then together, you can make a plan. Detail what you will do and what the parents will do. When you are finished, summarize the meeting, thank the family members for their cooperation, and set a time for a follow-up phone call or conference. Now, let's look at an example of a problem-solving conference. As you watch the conference, think about what the teacher might have done differently to make the conference more effective.
All right. Well, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing pretty good.
Good. We're here to talk about Ashley. Is that correct?
Oh, yep.
Okay. My main concern with Ashley is that It seems that her social side of her life is interfering a bit with her schoolwork. She's an extremely creative and intelligent child, but I'm worried that she's losing her focus a lot of times in class because she's being distracted by her friends that are in there. What I've been trying to work on, my main concern is because I notice her schoolwork is excellent. She's a really bright child, and I want to make sure that she continues to do excellent schoolwork. So what I tried to do was move her away from what I thought was a problem situation, move her away from some of her friends that she was talking too much with. And that seems to have failed as well, because now where she is now, she seems to be taking up the same sort of behavior. So I was just wondering if you maybe had any suggestions that you implement at home or that you thought might work here, seeing as how you probably know Ashley personally a little bit better than I do.
Well, I don't really see that as a problem. I encourage her to get out and get to know people and and be social, and it's school. I mean, it's time for her to make friends and be out. So
I agree with you 100%. I think a large part of school should be socializing and should be making friends. And my classroom is structured in a way so that you can also do that during class time. But I think when I try to draw the line and say, okay, it's time to really focus now, sometimes she doesn't notice that line and steps a little bit over it. And
I guess my problem is that if you say she's doing good work, then I don't understand why that's a problem.
she could be doing better. That's my main concern. She's doing good work. She could be doing really good work. I'm just worried that, and as a freshman, that happens. You know, students during that first year in high school, this will happen a lot more. They'll want to socialize, and to them, that might even be more important. But noticing Ashley's potential as a student, she's naturally gifted socially, and she's naturally gifted academically as well. And I think she's doing excellent socially, really well socially. And I think that if we could push her a little bit more to concentrate more on the academics, just a little bit, she could be doing excellent in both categories.
Because I really think, I mean, I see her schoolwork and I see what she brings home, and I think she's doing a great job. And and we don't have any problems with her at home.
Has she mentioned anything about class, that she's not satisfied with the work she's doing, or?
No. She seems really happy.
Well, maybe I'll just, also what I can do is, she's an excellent leader. She's a good motivator. So maybe I'll get her into some groups of students that need a little motivation, or maybe that aren't socially where they'd like to be, because she's a very friendly person as well.
That sounds good.
Maybe I can use her to help those other kids and move them along too. I think that'll work great if we just put her in some groups where she can really use her social skills and her academic skills to the fullest, and hopefully help other kids. We'll do that for a week or so, and then why don't we be in touch with each other and see how it's going.
That sounds good. I think that'll probably be really good for her.
Excellent, great.
Yep.
All right.
All right, well then I'll see you then.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, take care.
Bye-bye.
Whether regularly scheduled or problem-solving, teacher-parent conferences can be an opportunity to solidify the school-family partnership. The key to successful conferences is preparation. Following the guidelines in this video should keep the conference child-centered and open to two-way communication. The goal of all parent conferences should be to have decision-making and problem-solving solidify the relationship between family and school.